What's going on, everybody? Going Yooper here, and this is the third and final video in my bully series. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how I dealt with bullies. Now, as I said before, I really didn't get bullied too much. I think I can think of only one time that I was bullied, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But for the most part, I kind of looked for the bullies. I looked for the people that were bullying other people. When I was younger, I don't know what was wrong with me, but I was really high-strung. I loved to fight. I got into fights as much as possible. That said, I didn't go looking for a fight, but if the opportunity arose, I made sure I was part of it. Now, this isn't something that I'm super proud of today, and I really mean that. And you got to understand that this was 35 years ago. I was young, junior high was when I was really at my peak, and times have changed. You know, you could get into a fight 35 years ago at school, and it was just something that happened. It wasn't something that the police were called, and it turned into some terrorist act, and nowadays it really has turned into stuff like that. So you have to be very careful. Don't take what I'm saying and go and try and use it yourself, because again, when you get to be older and you have children, you look back at that time and you say, what was I thinking? I'm not really proud of that. But I'm going to tell you a few stories about situations that I got in with bullying. But before I do that, we're going to call up my special guest, which happens to be my mom, and see if she'll tell you all a couple quick stories. Hopefully it comes out over the speakerphone and you can kind of get an idea. So, let's give her a call. Hey, Mom.
Oh, hi, Jason. How are you?
Not bad. Can you hear me okay? I got you on speakerphone.
Yep, hear you just fine.
Awesome. Hey, I'm working on a video right now about bullying, and I'm kind of telling my viewers about how I was when I was younger and how I kind of dealt with bullies. And I was wondering if you had a minute, maybe you could tell a couple quick stories, maybe when I was younger, dealing with bullies.
Okay. Well, I know you never liked bullies.
No?
You never were one. Well, I know when you were really little, you were about maybe 4. You had broken your arm, and you were out in the backyard, and you were on your big wheel. And some kid came over and was trying to steal your big wheel from you. And you got off the big wheel and started punching on him. And I was up on the porch screaming at the kid not to hit you back because you had a broken arm. He didn't have a chance to hit you back.
Yeah, I remember that. That was an awesome big wheel. I mean, listen, when I was younger, guys, we didn't have a lot of money. I lived in a city, and I got this big wheel, and you pushed a button, and it made a lion roar. It was just the coolest thing. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Let's see, another one?
Nah, if you could think of one. I mean, I'm sure there's a handful.
Well, let me tell you, you used to ride the bus home from school, and there was a little kid that used to get picked on all the time. What was his name? Adam. Was it Adam?
Adam Turtle-Lot.
Turtle?
Yeah, Adam Turtle-Lot.
Turtle-Lot, yep, that's it. But, I don't know, he used to get picked on. Kids would push him down, and you just kind of went over, picked him up, and walked him home, and every day after that, you walked him home so nobody would pick on him.
Yeah.
And after a while, they just didn't pick on him because they said, oh, that's Jason's friend, gotta leave him alone.
Yeah, I know, and it's funny because
well
all those kids were all older too. They were a lot older than we were. But yeah,
they were.
Like I said, everybody,
you were well liked.
I was very blessed. I had a lot of friends. But you know what? I think I had a lot of friends because I was that way. I was willing to step up and step in when somebody was being bullied or somebody was being bothered, or if I could help somebody out. And I really think that that's why I was well liked.
That could very well be.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm just doing this video real quick, and I just wanted to have you share a few stories. So hopefully you don't mind if I put you in my video.
Oh, no, that'd be fine.
Alright, well, I really appreciate it. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I hope everybody's doing well. Let everybody know I love them.
I will. I'll let them know.
All right, thank you,
All
Mom.
right, you
Love
take
you.
care. Goodbye, everybody. Love you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So, a couple quick stories from my mom. Yes, that's the Going Yooper mom right there. Pretty cool. She's down in Florida. Um, yeah, so I that was when I was really young, and as I got older, I just stuck to it. I can remember a time when a guy named Tim Russell was bullying this real little guy, and Tim Russell was a big guy. He was one of those guys that was in like 7th grade, but he looked like he was graduated high school. He had the mustache already, big guy, one of those guys with a natural build. Like he didn't have to work out. He had that natural build. And me and Tim got along all right. I didn't really ever have a problem with Tim, but he was picking on this Tom Lyman kid for a couple days. And one of these days, he had him up against the lockers, and you know how they do in school. Everybody's surrounded around, and there was no way Tom was going to be able to defend himself. Tom was a real nice guy, real quiet kid. He didn't have the best home life, but he made the best of it. And I know for a fact that Tom wasn't starting any trouble with Tim. You know, a lot of people wouldn't start trouble with Tim because, like I said, he looked like a full-grown man in 7th grade, and kind of gives you the mentality of Tim, you know. And I remember he had him up against the lockers, and and I was like, Tim's a big guy, and it worried me. There is going to be some worry there, and it did worry me. I was like, Tim's a big guy. He's a little bit spooky. So for whatever reason, I thought the best thing to do, and back then everybody wore gym shorts. Not gym shorts, gym sweatpants. Like that's what, not with the one leg rolled up, but maybe both legs rolled up. It was a little before the time where the one leg rolled up thing. But the only thing I could think of was, well, go over there at Tim and pull his pants down while he's shoving Tom around in front of all these people, because I figured that would be a good way to get his mind off of Tom, and he probably wouldn't want to stick around too long now that his underwear was showing. So that's exactly what I did. Worked like a charm. Tim never said a word to me about it. Never bothered Tom again. Worked out pretty good. I remember a kid named James, and I don't remember his last name. I remember he was getting picked on. Some kids from the high school came down to the junior high and were picking on him. I don't know what the story was behind it, but there was like 3 or 4 of them. Again, big crowd of people around, and they were smacking him around pretty good. You know what I mean? And I think they were reaching in his pockets trying to take whatever he had in his pockets, and it just made me so mad. I mean, I actually seen it going on for a little bit, and I was very hesitant to get involved because, again, these are 3 high school kids. I'm in 6th, 7th grade. I don't remember, and I was really another time where I was like, I don't know. But it got to me so bad that I figured I needed to do something. I went over there. I grabbed the one kid that was smacking him in the face and reaching in his pockets, and I threw him to the side, and I just got posed like, all right, well, let's go. And I was ready to fight. That's what I was planning on. And for the most part, they just realized, well, okay, well, this guy's going to fight. And we weren't expecting that, and I guess they didn't want to get hit. And again, I was not a nice fighter. Like, there was no rules in fighting as far as I was concerned. And back 30, 35 years ago, there was kind of rules to fighting, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't kick a guy when he's down, and no kicking in the privates and things like that. Well, I didn't know any of those rules, and I didn't follow by any of those rules, And I was kind of known for that a little bit. Again, keep in mind, my teachers loved me. I did really good in my classes. I did good in school. And the only fights I really got into at school were beating up on bullies. These teachers knew these kids were bullies. They didn't like these kids. One of those kids at the high schoolers that came down was actually threatening teachers before. I remember he was threatening to beat up a teacher, and the teacher was all worried and scared about it. So I kind of got a pass, And today's day, you're not going to happen. You're going to get in trouble. So don't do what I did. I'm just telling you what happened. And one more quick story. There was one kid, I was in 6th grade, he was in 8th grade, and the junior high was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade at my school. And he was juiced up. Like, this was one of the kids that he was juicing up, weightlifting all the time. He was on the football team, and he was a jerk. He was a jerk. He was one bully kid that I didn't really ever see him bullying anybody, but I knew that he was like that. But he started bullying me, and to tell you the truth, I was worried about it because the kid was a little bit crazy. Like, I got into a lot of scraps and people thought that I was kind of crazy, but I was very meticulous in what I would do. I mean, I had a fight planned out from the time I got into it and the time it ended, and almost every single time that's exactly how the fight went, right down to choreographing what I was going to do. With this guy, I was worried about it. You know, I was worried about him. He was a little bit loose in the head, literally. Bad home life. He wasn't a guy that you would really want to get into a scrap with. But he started messing with me. A girl that went to the school liked me that he liked, and he didn't like it, I guess, or whatever. So he was picking on me, and this went on for like 2-3 days. And finally, on the third day, I was walking a new girl that just came to the school, and I liked her. And I was walking her, showing her the classes, you know, the new classes and stuff. And he came up, and I don't remember if he put his finger on my forehead and pushed my forehead, or I think he put 2 fingers on my cheek and went like that. He was walked by and acting all tough, and he was totally on the juice. This guy was known to be on the juice, or he was like cool because of it or something. And I just wasn't having it, man. Like, all right, well, talking crap to me was one thing. Touching me in front of this girl right here, not gonna happen. So he turned to start walking away. He was wearing a hoodie. I grabbed him. Only thing I did, grabbed him by the back of the hoodie, yanked him as hard as I could. I grabbed it one hand, grabbed it with the other hand, and I literally pulled it over my shoulder. And that jerked his feet almost up over his head, and I slammed him right straight down to the ground, hit his head. He started crying, and he was freaking out, crying and stuff, and he wouldn't get up. He was acting like he was paralyzed, which he wasn't. He just had a cut on his head, no big deal. But that was about one of the only times I remember getting bullied. And I'm telling you all this because my kids are a lot like Dad, and they're very good kids, but they won't tolerate a bully. They don't tolerate bullying somebody else. My kids are known at their school for being the kid that will stick up for somebody being bullied. And I'm telling you all this because if you're a bully watching my video, they might go to your school, so you better be careful. And I really mean that. If my kid gets into a fight at school, I won't be proud of him, I won't be happy about it, but if he's doing it to protect somebody else, it's okay by me. And if that makes me a bad parent, I'm sorry. Up until this point so far, it's never happened. I've never got a call from the school ever on any one of my kids. I don't know why. I guess they're not a lot like me, because I got in trouble a lot. But that's how their mentality is. And I've always told them, stick up for somebody if it's needing to be done, and make good judgments. Make sure that this is a situation where this person's getting picked on. Don't get into a fight if you don't have to. Try and get involved, try and step in, try and talk the person down. Tell other people, tell teachers, principals, again, tell the lunch lady. Do everything you can do first. Let people be aware of the situation. And if worst case scenario, you have to defend yourself or somebody else, you have my permission. Again, if that makes me a bad parent, then I'm a bad parent. I love my children deeply, but I want them to know that they need to be there and to help others whenever they can. That's how I want them to be. That's how I am. And that's it. So, I hope you like these videos, and I hope that they help somebody. Again, if you're being bullied, my information's below. Facebook, Instagram, my email. Get in contact with me. I'm always there to talk to you. No problem at all. Help you if I can. So, if you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you. Also, hit the notification bell. That will let you know when I upload a video. And as always, I love you all. See me bye.